and not limiting the engineer is to not doubt him. Just because you may be going through something wrong or your life doesn't seem like everything's going well doesn't mean that the incline is on the horizon. Everybody knows any good roller coaster, it builds you up slowly, tick by tick by tick by tick. And you started low, but by the time you look around, you're at the top of the roller coaster and you're sitting there. And life is going good, everything's working out, all your bills is paid, gas is the tips are coming in, the team is looking good, the kids are behaving, everything's working out. And then all of a sudden, whoosh, you're back at the bottom. And that might be really disappointing. I know for me personally, in my life, when everything was going good, I'm like, God, why couldn't we just stay at the top and just have a tick, tick, tick on the top? But that's a boring roller coaster. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to be on a roller coaster that just stays at one level the whole time. Y'all can't hear y'all. Where is the support? Come on, guys. Let's get something, okay? Secondly, you never know what your ride is capable of. You never know what God has in store for you, man. I think a lot of people in society, we tend to just believe that just because God had us in one place at one time, that's where we'll stay forever. We get stuck in one job and we're like, we went to school for this and we did this and this is where God has me. But you don't know what God has for you. You limit yourself. You say, oh, I went to school for engineering, so I could just be an engineer. And what if God wants you to be a baker? Are you willing enough to dismay your degree and keep on pushing and do what God has for you? Are you willing to deny what society says about you and to keep on pushing no matter what they say? The second step is that the ride is made for you. See, I don't know about you guys, but when I was younger, I used to hate going to amusement parks because I was never big enough to ride the rides. They would say, Alan, come on, let's go to the kiddie side, trying to play me out like I didn't know the big rides was over there. Talking about, oh, come over here. We're gonna ride the teacups. I don't want to ride no teacups. I want to ride King Nicole and Nitro. I want to be like the big boys. You know what I'm talking about right there. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You don't want to. Exactly. You don't want to ride that. You don't want to ride that. But the great thing about the roller coaster that God has created for you is that it's made just for you. The height requirement is whatever your height is. The weight limit is whatever your weight is. All the twists and turns are made, specially designed just for you. Now, I know some of us get a little upset and we just want to feel like, well, maybe we could create some of the roller coasters. But see, when we try to become in control, normally we get off track. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I've not seen many people survive a roller coaster that goes off track. Roller coaster that people get hurt, people die by doing that. So remember to keep your hands and feet inside the cart and focus on your ride. Because God is the one in control. And don't forget that. I know society might tell you someone else is in control of your situation and your destiny, but I didn't expect myself to even be here today. I had a lot of things going on, a lot of things that could go wrong in life. And I'm so happy that I have people here to support me and that came out here to show me something different. And I really appreciate y'all for coming out. I appreciate it very much. But I want y'all to just sit back and enjoy this ride, all right? Come with me, all right? Now, the last step in enjoying a roller coaster ride is to try to focus only on your roller coaster. Now, I know it's tempting. Because if you go to Six Flags, I know you want a funnel cake. I know you want one. I know you want one. I know. And I know that the cute girl behind you in line is staring at you. I know she is. It's okay. Try to focus on your roller coaster ride, man. I know that there's going to be other roller coasters that you're focused on, but how lame is it to be on your roller coaster and be worried about the next roller coaster next to you or the other roller coasters that you're not even on yet? You have to stay present. Stay in person. Don't ignore the ups and downs that you're going through. Stay present and enjoy it. The ups and downs, the times you have lights, the times you don't, the times you have heat, the time you don't, the time you have money, the times you don't. The times when they're tipping, and the times when they're not. The times where the team is winning, and the times where we're not winning. The times where the kids is listening, and other times they're not. You have to enjoy the ups and downs. You have to enjoy the roller coaster ride. You have to stay present. You can't limit the engineer. It's made for you, and you got to focus. Now, before I leave you, I'm going to tell you a little story about one of my favorite sisters. One of my favorite sisters, not my favorite sister, because I got a couple and they're going to kill me if I say my favorite sister. Now, I was practicing basketball with one of our lovely church members, and he was helping me out. And I decided, let me see what my sister is doing. I call her up, and she says, I'm at Bounce About. And I'm like, Now, my sister, she's a very intelligent young person, but she has 4 kids. 4 kids, and she decided to take her 4 kids to Bounce About by herself. She know me, I'm like, I'm her little big brother. I'm going to go out there, help her with them kids. I know how to keep them straight. I went there, and let me tell y'all, I could not help her. I couldn't. Them kids was running around, bouncing around, doing whatever they wanted. I'm like, this is not what they do when we're at grandma's house. What are they doing? Yeah, out here acting wild. And my one nephew, he was riding this motorcycle ride. He was addicted. Now, granted, my sister is very nice because she paid extra money for them to play these extra games in the store. Everybody know you go to Chuck E. Cheese or Bounce About, you bouncing or you doing Chuck E. Cheese games. You're not playing the games in there, cost extra money. Your mom's not doing that. But this sister decides, I'm going to be really nice and I'm going to pay extra money for them to do this thing. So my sister, she's paying, and she lets my nephew ride this ride. And as he's riding this ride, he's becoming more and more infatuated with this game. And as he becomes more and more infatuated, he's becoming attached. And he's like, I love this ride. It's going in and out, up and down, like the roller coaster that we talked about. And he's just enamored with it. So, of course, games end. And once this game ends, it's time for him to get off. Now, this nephew of mine is pretty stubborn boy. So, of course, he listens at first a little bit. He's hesitant, but he gets off the ride eventually. He gets off the ride. And so my sister says to him, hey, you had your fun. It's time to relax. Let's go bounce. So I looked at him. She looked at him. He looked at her. He looked at me. He smiled. He laughed. And he gave us like a kind of okay because he doesn't always speak all the time. He said, oh, yeah, okay. My sister turns her back. I'm looking for the other kids. We turn around. He's back on the motorcycle. Now, anything I know about anything about parenting, that's frustrating because you think your kid's gonna listen to you. You're hoping that he respects you, what you're saying. And so now my sister's like, all right, fine, get off again. Let's try to figure this out. So we do the same thing. We talk to him, looks at us, looks at him, turn around, back on the motorcycle. That's twice. Now, I don't know about you guys and your parenting skills, but the way we were raised is that if you don't listen, there's consequences to that. There's situations that happen. But where we're at, we can't always do what we're raised to do. So, we gotta figure it out. So my sister tries to be nice. She tries to calm down. She's getting frustrated. She's like, you know what? I love him. He had this ride. I was gonna let him play again, but now I can't. So come on, listen. You can't get back on this ride. Do not get back on this ride. We talk to him. We look at him. He looks at us. He smiles. He laughs. He nods. We turn around. Where's he at? Back on the motorcycle. One more time. Not listening. So now my sister's angry. She's upset because he's not listening to her, and we're in front of all these different people. She's embarrassed. I'm looking like, who are these kids? I don't know them. Who are they? And so now she takes him off, and she reprimands him. Now, we're not going to talk about what happened, but she reprimands him, and now he's a little bit upset. And so you guys might have thought that this story was about the little kid, but this story is really about my sister and her roller coaster ride. Because after she disciplined her son, we turn around, and he's not on the roller coaster ride. In fact, he's nowhere to be found. And so now, my sister is not only upset and annoyed, but she's scared. The roller coaster started out like this, and it was a little bit bumpy because he was getting on off the motorcycle. He wasn't listening. But now it's all the way down. Her heart has dropped. because her son, the only thing that she loves more than anything else, has disappeared. And so now she's in a panic. So now she's running up and around. Her roller coaster is going up and down like this. She thinks she sees her kid. She turns this kid around. That's not my kid. Puts him back. Runs around again. Picks up another kid. That's not my kid. And so as I see my sister's roller coaster start to plummet, I'm like, what can I do? So I do the only thing I know how to do. I grab the other kids, and I hold them so that they can't leave. So now she could go run around and find the rest of the kids. But as she goes up and down on this roller coaster, and she goes through all these trials and tribulations trying to find her kid and is really starting to get upset, guess what happens? No, he isn't back on the motorcycle. That would be a good ending, though. He isn't back on the motorcycle. She finds him. She finds him, and she's upset. But what it showed me was that no matter what up and down happens, things always tend to come back around right where they began. He ended up coming right back home. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys about this motorcycle ride. Focus on it. Be present, because we started in heaven. And no matter what happens down here as we go up and down, the ride will be over soon, and we'll be back home. Back where it all started. Back where God has us to be. As long as we try to endure and enjoy our motorcycle to the best of our abilities, we will end up where God has us to be. And so, I wanted my sister to learn to love her roller coaster. And I want you all to learn to love your roller coaster, to not limit your engineer, that the ride is made for you, and to try to focus on your roller coaster, because you don't know what anyone else is going through. Thank you. Enjoy your roller coaster.